गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा कुंज बिहारी सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर श्लोकपाठ की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय नामाचार्य शिवदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंज राधा कुंज गिरि गोवर्धन की जय वृंदावन धाम की जय नवदीप धाम की जय जगन्नाथपुरी की जय गंगामय जमुनामय की जय भक्ति देवी तुलसी देवी की जय सदाय कली पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय गौर प्रमानंद समवेत गौर भक्तवृंद की जय समवेत गौर भक्तवृंद की जय समवेत गौर श्री गुरु गौरांग की जय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं हे विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते
तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी विश्वभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये।
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद
श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
Hare Krishna. So we are honored to be here and speak something about Krishna conscious philosophy, especially Vaisnava Sambandha. There are two things. One is Sambandha and other is Bandhan. Sambandha, so the word Sambandha is Samyak Bandhan. When there is an integral connection to everything, that gives a healthy rise in life. But when there is an isolation, Bandhan is caused because there is an attachment. Integral relationship, when we are supposed to be relating to Krishna and Krishna's devotee, spiritual master, then that relationship is the right relationship. Therefore, we read in the Bhagavatam 4th canto, Narad Muni spoke to Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj was tormented by his father because of his negligence, more so, rather than his stepmother who was, what she was, the way she was. So Narad Muni told Dhruva Maharaj, my dear Dhruva, one should not take these things very seriously. Life is designed like this, so therefore don't take it seriously. He said, when you meet someone who is superior to you, you should serve and respect them. When you meet someone who is equal to you, you should befriend them. And when you meet someone who is younger to you, you should basically be compassionate to them. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains, Krishna's surrender to Krishna manifests differently in this world. Quoting the same principle, with superiors it becomes Sharanagati, with equals it becomes friendship, with juniors it becomes compassion and taking care of them. So this is an ideal standard, Adarsha. But Dhruva Maharaj was so tormented, by his father and his stepmother. He told Narad Muni, he said, I understand, I appreciate what you are saying. Dhruva Maharaj did not deny what his guru told, but he also spoke his limitation. That I am very affected, I want to achieve something much greater than my great-grandfather. And Prabhupada writes very beautifully that Dhruva Maharaj was very honest in expressing to his spiritual master. So he was not kapat, he was very honest. And therefore, understanding Dhruva Maharaj very well, Narad Muni, he continued that, he did not compromise with what he said, but he wanted to give a journey of Dhruva Maharaj will eventually lead to that destination. He said, you worship Krishna in this way. And when Dhruva Maharaj with full conviction worshipped Krishna, Lord Narayan, and eventually got he wanted, but after getting what he wanted, he became extremely sensitive about what he asked from Lord Narayan. He said, I came to Lord Narayan asking for broken piece of glasses, but now I've got this rare jewel. But Lord Narayan insisted, Dhruva Maharaj, you need to enjoy this world for 30,000 years. Again, Prabhupada writes there, that is a success for Dhruva Maharaj. That materially he was stable and spiritually was fulfilled. Therefore, relationship is not based upon rules. Relationship is based upon an impact. We had done this seminar here on Vaisnava relationships or responsible love. And I always like this story of Krishna interacting with Draupadi. Wherever I get an opportunity, I speak this story. When Draupadi, after she met with Krishna, now they have lost everything in the gambling match. The Kurus try to disrobe Draupadi. They try to disrobe her confidence, disrobe her honor, try to break the very good harmonious relationship among the Pandavas. They did everything. And ultimately Draupadi called for Krishna because nobody else could protect. Her position was also like Dhruva Maharaj only. Dhruva Maharaj was insulted by his mother and the good father remained neutral. Did not do anything. I think in the 10th canto in the story of Balramji, somewhere it is explained that neutrality is also a sign of accepting the injustice. I am neutral. There is nothing as neutral in this world. Either we take side on the positive direction or the negative direction. If you remain neutral, then your position is like Rukmi. You will be killed by Balramji. Eventually, he did not fight for either party, the Kurus and the Pandavas, and he gambled and he lost his life. So there is no such thing as neutrality. Neutrality does not exist in this world. You have to take a side. Right. So when many people being neutral, Bhishma, Drona, all of these people remain neutral. They did not protect Draupadi because they were all talking about their own small relationship, their responsibilities. But Draupadi, the interesting part is, Draupadi, she did not break her relationship with the Pandavas. She did not say that I am a no more wife of Pandavas. She did not say that I am no more the daughter-in-law of the Kuru family. She maintained that relationship, but now she gave more prominence to the most important relationship. The relationship of taking shelter of Krishna exclusively in regards to asking him to give her protection. And Prabhupada writes in one purport, it is not that Krishna gave her the sari, but Krishna came as the sari. He extended. The Lord has many incarnations, but here he came as the sari of Draupadi. And the Dushasan is trying to drag, but how much can he do? He failed. Then eventually Pandavas came to the forest and Krishna came to meet the Pandavas. That meeting of the Pandavas with Krishna is very heart-touching because the Pandavas have lost everything. They did not do, since they met with Krishna, anything without his consultation. Rajasuya sacrifice, when Yudhishthira Maharaj, when Narad Muni came and told, I met your father, he's stuck in the Pitru Loka. If you perform the Rajasuya sacrifice, then he'll move beyond the Pitru Loka. So therefore you should perform the sacrifice. So Yudhishthira Maharaj wrote a letter to Krishna asking his advice. My dear Lord, please come. Beautiful letter was written by him. And Krishna came to Hastinapur in Indraprastha. And Yudhishthira Maharaj told, my dear Lord, whenever we consult our own family members and relatives, maybe out of affection they will agree to whatever we say. And if you ask the subordinates, most of the time subordinates are what? They say yes. Haji. So they don't question our decisions. Either some subordinates flatter you, and some subordinates, when they have anger towards you, they slander you. So he said, I don't want to hear from them because they will say yes to me. But Krishna, you are the only one who will tell the advantages and disadvantages of this yajna. Therefore, please tell me. So he consulted, called for Krishna, but during the gambling match, he did not ask Krishna for anything. He took his own decision. Why he took his own decision is a different story. So they are meeting with Krishna, they are very humbled, they are feeling very regretful. But Krishna does not chastise them. It's a very beautiful. They are already beaten very badly. If somebody is already half dead, by telling why the hell you did it, they will go to hell more. Because they are anyway suffering. Just like when a child drops some kind of pot, a glass thing,
we ask them, how did you drop it? Or we say, you could have used this or you could have handled this. No. That doesn't work out because it has already happened. At that stage, they don't need analysis, they need sympathy. So Krishna sympathized with the Pandavas. He embraced them, he cried with them. Then he comes to Draupadi. Draupadi is sitting there and she starts speaking to Krishna. She had gone through such a nightmare situation. When she met with Krishna, she said, my dear Krishna, what can I say? My life is so tormented that I have got 5 husbands. Arjuna is a Gandiva dhari. She said, hell with his Gandiva. She didn't say hell with Arjuna. He said, he did not protect me. Yudhishthira Maharaj being Dharmaraj, he did not protect me. Bhima, such a powerful personality, having the power of 10,000 elephants, he did not protect me. Nakul Sahdev did not protect me. She said, I have got 5 husbands, but nobody came to my aid, Krishna. Now this can be understood, but the next thing what Draupadi said may shock everyone. But she spoke this to Krishna. She said, my dear Lord, he said, even you did not come and help me. She said, for 4 reasons you should have protected me. One is, I am your friend. Krishna considered Draupadi as his Sakhi. He said, you did not protect me for that reason. Second, I am your servant. I am your devotee. You are the Supreme Lord. For that reason you should have protected me. And third, Draupadi said, I am a woman. I am a abala. I was helpless. And you are powerful. For that reason you should have protected me. And the fourth, she said, I am not ordinary. I was born from the fire. No, she was not born in the womb. She was born from the fire. So for all this reason, Krishna, you should have protected me, but you did not protect me. Now, what would be the response of someone who has done everything for you? He gave limitless clothes. But the point here is not about what Krishna has done for her, but rather what she is going through, that emotional pain, the trauma what she is going through. So Krishna does not remind her that I gave you clothes. And because Krishna doesn't remind Draupadi about not giving her clothes, there are many scholars, they feel that this story never happened only. Just see, this is such a beautiful story. It shows the internal connection of Krishna rather than simply the external story. And what does Krishna apparently say to Draupadi? Rather than telling her, I give you sari, in a typical North Indian language, Krishna should have said, Tere baap nahi diya kya? She could have said that. He didn't say that. He didn't speak a philosophy to her. Life is like this. Life is so designed. There is suffering in this world. What do you expect of this world? I'm going to speak in the future about Bhagavad Gita, Ashashvatam, Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam. He didn't say that. Right. He didn't talk about, I think it is your karma, Draupadi, you are suffering. In your last lifetime, you must have taken somebody else's clothes. Therefore you are suffering. These are all truth. They are all fact. Karma philosophy is a reality. Krishna giving sari is a reality. Everybody saw that. And the suffering is the part of this world. That is also reality. But Krishna does not touch this reality, because telling that reality to Draupadi in this condition does not at all help her to grow in life. Therefore, the Vedic scriptures, they do not talk about laws. They talk about impact. What is beneficial to other party? Narad Muni, for that matter, so considerate to Dhruva Maharaj. Similarly, when he met with either it is Valmiki Maharshi as a big highway robber or Mrigari. What did Narad Muni tell to Mrigari? Therefore, relationships are not based upon fact. Relationships are based upon emotions. So Narad Muni told this Mrgari, when he saw, he couldn't understand the difference between half killing and fully killing. He asked him, what is the difference? Mrgari would take pleasure in killing animals half. He would see them suffer and that would give him pleasure. Like Prabhupada talked about when he was young, he was walking in Kolkata, he was going through a slaughterhouse. Because Bengal is 97% meat eaters. So naturally everywhere there is flesh. So he saw in a chicken shop, today the Nirjala Ekadashi. So he saw a man half killing the chicken and his child is crying. And the father is kind of encouraging, come on, enjoy. And Prabhu was shocked to see that this person did not have the sensitivity also. So somebody is so involved in killing animals, he will not make a distinction between half killing or killing it fully. Like one great poet, Tukaram Maharaj, he says, a butcher is so sensitive about his finger while cutting, while sharpening his instrument. He is very, very careful not to cut his finger, but he butchers an animal without realizing the connection between his finger and the pain of that animal. He said, just imagine how much a person has become desensitized. Therefore, many times too much of information or too much of philosophical understanding makes one extremely desensitized. Like when the 9/11 happened, many people spoke in many different ways. I remember somebody saying, one very immature devotee, they're all suffering because of their karma only, all cow flesh eaters. No, this is not expected of a devotee when the suffering is seen through. The sympathy is important. So Krishna was so nicely sensitive, he told Draupadi, I am basically sorry. I should have been there. I was fighting elsewhere, fighting a battle against Salva. Therefore I couldn't come. If I knew about this, I would have not allowed this gambling match to take place. They didn't invite me. And even if they had not invited me, I would have come by force, and if they had not agreed, then I would have attacked them. So by saying this, what Krishna did? He not only sympathized, he assured Draupadi for giving them punishment. And Krishna said, my dear Draupadi, I promise you. He said the entire Himalayan mountains, all the mountains may become powdered. The rivers may dry up, the oceans may dry up, but this is the promise I make for you that all the family members of the Kuru for this crime have to experience death penalty. Whether that happens or not, that is not important. But assuring Draupadi was important. Krishna tried to avoid that also. He came as a peacemaker to Hastinapur, asking only 5 villages from the Kauravas. He was willing to forgive them also. But at that situation, speaking these words to Draupadi, sympathizing with her, assuring her, giving her the confidence that the justice will prevail, when he spoke that to Draupadi, Vasdevji explains, Draupadi started crying tears. Her eyes were filled with tears. And when she cried, she was looking something to offer to Krishna. After all, Draupadi, her anger is not against Krishna. Her anger against her own situation. Another episode in the Mahabharata, very interesting also. How feelings make us misunderstand the words. When Arjuna saw that there is no flag of Yudhishthira Maharaj on the battlefield, because when the flags come down, that is the step before a soldier is killed. Those who have seen B.R. Chopra's Mahabharata, right? The wheels break down, the flags come down, the charioteer gets killed, and then eventually the soldier gets killed. So then Yudhishthira Maharaj did not see the flag of, Arjuna did not see the flag of Yudhishthira Maharaj. He became very concerned. Where is my brother? I can't see him. He told Krishna in the middle of the battlefield. Arjuna would never do that. He said, my dear Lord, I want to go and see my brother. I think he's finished. He must have been killed by some warriors. So please take me to the camp. So, drove his chariot, as he told him to Arjuna, something would be done by Karna to Arjuna. Always that fear was there because affectionate brother. He said, my dear Arjun, did you kill Karna? I hope you have come with this news, the death of Karna. Now when your expectations are unfulfilled, that gives rise to anger. So Arjuna said, no Krishna, I did not come for that. Yudhishthira, I did not come for that. I came looking for your welfare. I did not see your flag. And instantly Yudhishthira Maharaj became, because his expectations were broken. Now you don't find Yudhishthira Maharaj to be normally speaking harsh to anybody. That's not his character. Bhima we can expect. That's his character to be, speaking equally, whether it is Karna, whether it is Dronacharya if he is doing wrong, whether it is Yudhishthira Maharaj. He told Yudhishthira, he said, get me some fire log, I can burn the hands of Yudhishthira for gambling. Arjuna said, what are you saying? He said, what else can I say? He could say like that. But Yudhishthira Maharaj will never do like that. So Yudhishthira Maharaj, when he heard that Arjuna has not killed Karna, he said, Arjun, what is the point in expecting from you that you will kill all the Kurus? I should have not put trust in you. I should have put trust in Sahadev. That didn't hurt Arjun. He said, you're useless like a grass. That didn't hurt Arjun. And then he told, now you would never expect Yudhishthira Maharaj to speak. He said, I think our mother should have aborted you when you are in her womb in the 5th month. That also didn't hurt Arjun so much. Then he said, I think your Gandhi was useless. You throw it in the dustbin. That hurt him very badly. Because he had a secret vow. Of course, Draupadi said the same thing about Gandhi ago. Then Arjun did not open his mouth. We narrated the story. So when he said that, Arjun gets up. He removes his sword to kill Yudhishthira Maharaj. Krishna said, I don't see any enemies here, Arjun. We see only well-wishers here. Whom are you attacking? He said, I am attacking Yudhishthira because he said something that I have taken a secret vow. What is that vow? That anyone who says anything about my Gandhi Vabo insults it, I am going to kill them. So Krishna tells Arjun, did you hear what Yudhishthira Maharaj said, or did you feel what Yudhishthira Maharaj is going through? It is not the words, Arjun, it is the feeling. Because what he has gone through the trauma of being tormented by Karna, therefore he was expecting that you do something, but you are seeing Yudhishthira Maharaj, you are hearing his word, but you are not feeling what he is saying. It's a beautiful story. So therefore we always talk about the words. Words are important, Shabda Pramana is important. But Shabda spoken with what intention? And that's how Krishna conquered Draupadi. That's how Krishna conquered his devotees. Krishna spoke to Arjuna only when Arjuna was willing to hear from Krishna. What a teacher! Can you imagine you train somebody for so many years and is about to perform, and in the place of performance your student says, I don't want to take part in this game. I don't want to take part in this whole event. The coach will curse him. Rascal, you go to hell. I curse you that you will never perform again in your life. It is but natural. But Krishna simply asked this question, Arjuna, how is that these impurities have come upon you? It does not befit a Kshatriya, that's all. And then Arjuna gave lots of arguments, reason, logic. And then Arjuna was confused by his own logic. Very good logic he gave, but that logic did not enlighten Arjuna, but rather he became more confused. And that is the time he told Krishna, Krishna, please, Karpanya dosho. So only when Arjuna was willing to learn, Krishna was willing to teach. Therefore, in relationship of student and teacher, it is not only the teacher's responsibility to teach, it is student's responsibility also to learn. And if the teacher doesn't understand this, then the teacher takes the responsibility, imposes, forces, goes through a lot of distress. I remember one devotee was telling about some students he was preaching, and the students stopped chanting after some time. And this devotee went through a lot of anxiety. He said, Prabhuji, stop chanting. So what happened if he stopped chanting? He said, because of him, my chanting has also stopped. Huh? So when we become possessive about certain relationship, our responsibility become very weak. So therefore, with this story, we can understand in relationship, along with the words and the philosophy, the sensitivity is very important. What will affect them? And this is we can see in Prabhupada's life also. There was a philosophy which he spoke in the books. There is a conversation which he had with devotees. And there was certain problems how he dealt with devotees. They are completely not different. They are basically making the philosophy work. There is a truth and there is a compassion, so that they can connect to absolute truth. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmritam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshtarini. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Govind Prabhu, for sharing beautiful katha. We get to hear each other more in America than in India. So many times we may feel that the concept of Vaishnava relationships is needed only till a certain stage or in the beginning stages. So when we have the Goswamis who are in Vrindavan Dham, and Raghunath Das Goswami is lamenting when Raghunath Das Goswami left the planet. So Jiva Goswami is lamenting and he says, Shunyayate Mahagoshtam Girindro Ajgarayate Vyagra Tundayate Kundam Jivatu Rahitasya. So he is in Sri Vrindavan Dham, the highest abode of transcendental realization, and he has the capacity to experience Krishna's presence there. But he is just lamenting the fact that the Goswamis, they are departing and they are no longer there to give me their association. So they are so much related to each other in service to Mahaprabhu that now that the Goswamis are leaving, in the absence of them, all the 12 forests appear to be void. Shunyayate. Girindro Ajagarayate. And this huge Govardhan Parvat, which is like the king of mountains, the most worshipable holy place in the entire creation. In the absence of the Goswamis, they appear to be a huge python. Vyagra Tundayate Kundam, the most worshipable, venerable Radha Kund, the highest place of worship. It appears in the absence of the association of my most worshipable lords and masters. It appears to be like a tiger with its mouth open. Vyaghra tundayate kundam. Jivatu rahitasya me. So in this way, we find that the devotees who are experiencing the presence of Krishna, they actually are able to appreciate the presence of the Vaishnavas and the need of the Vaishnava association in keeping them inspired in Krishna consciousness. So the most critical factor is how we are able to be conscious about Krishna. And in the absence of this consciousness, then we may consider these relationships to be ordinary. So we have in Chaitanya Charitamrita the most exalted example of Shivananda Sen and Vasudeva Datta. So Vasudeva Datta is glorified by Mahaprabhu for praying for the whole universe to be delivered. He is considered to be the embodiment of Prahlad. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu glorifies him that you are actually non-different from Prahlad. Why? Because Tomara upare Krishnera sampurna prasad. Lord has given complete mercy to you. And what was the prayer of Vasudeva Datta? May the whole world be delivered. May the whole creation be delivered. And in return for that, I don't mind going to hell. That's a trade-off. He is willing to experience suffering for eternity if Mahaprabhu and Krishna deliver the whole universe. So he is glorified as compassion personified. But then there is another episode in Chaitanya Charitamrita where Shivananda Sen is summoned by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu is asking Vasudeva Datta, how does he manage his finance? So because Vasudeva Datta was an embodiment of compassion, he had another habit. Whatever he earned in the day, he would donate in the evening. So that worried Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu calls upon Shivananda Sen, and he says that, of course, Vasudeva Datta is an embodiment of compassion, but this compassion is extending away too much. That it is going beyond to the finances, and is sharing just finances with everybody. He's just donating, he's giving away in charity. And so Mahaprabhu says to Shivananda Sen, Grihastha hoena iho chahiye sanchay, sanchay na koile kutumba bharana nahi hoye. And he says that he is a grihastha, and as a grihastha he has to save some money. And without saving money, how will he take care of his family? So therefore Mahaprabhu, he turns towards Shivananda Sen and he tells him that इहार घरे आय व्यय सब तुम्हार स्थाने सर खेला होया तुम्ही करिह समाधाने. Mahaprabhu tells Shivananda Sen, you become the finance controller of his house. You take care of his household finances, because looks like he doesn't have the skill sets to take care of finances. He's just distributing left, right and center. His charity is too much. Compassion is good, but that compassion is going to areas which he should not be involving in. And so I'm worried about his family. I'm worried about him. So you please take care of his household finances. This is very interesting because Vasudeva Datta is glorified by Mahaprabhu as Sakshat Prahlad, and someone who's so empowered that he can deliver the whole universe. So in that sense, one may feel that, his status is so exalted that he is beyond reach of anybody. He is so exalted that who can tell him anything, and who can come even close to his exalted position and even dare to say anything to him. But then Mahaprabhu is trying to demonstrate that the nature of a Vaishnava community is we are always dependent on each other. So even if someone may be very highly exalted, he becomes exalted due to certain qualities, and those qualities in some other areas may turn out to be handicap also. So therefore, one always needs the protection, the shelter, the help of devotees. So Mahaprabhu is taking the example of Shivananda Sen and sharing with us that even someone on the level of Shivananda Sen, he can't think that I am delivering everybody, so who can I be dependent upon? So therefore, this principle of dependence is very much strongly embedded in the community of devotees. And that's the foundation for a Vaishnava relationship, where we feel that how many ever years I may spend in the movement, whatever may be my service, however glorified position I may get, however much the devotees may keep saying good things about me, but we always need the protection, the help, the intervention of other devotees. And we need to be dependent on the Vaishnava devotees, because no one can feel that I have all the qualities which is required. So therefore, this mood of dependence is extremely important in Vaishnava relationships. When Sudama is told by his wife that you go and beg from Krishna. So Sudama comes to the palace. And generally speaking, in the Bhagavad Kathas, this Sudama pastime is very much glorified by the Bhagavad Kathakar. And the audience also love to hear, because they feel this is like a typical classic rags to riches story. That Sudama didn't have anything. And then he went to Krishna, and Krishna gave him everything. Right? So, many people feel that, I'm going through a difficult situation, and how I can get some sukh sampatti ghar aave. How is it possible? I was going for a program and I saw one big building on the side, and it was written, Sukh Shanti Apartments under repair and maintenance. That's the situation of life in this material world. So we are always trying to make adjustments. So Sudama goes to Krishna, and as soon as he enters and Krishna sees him, he immediately places Sudama on his own throne. And Rukmini starts offering respects to Sudama. So by seeing this, all the palace residents are bewildered, and they start discussing amongst themselves. Kuchailam malinam kshamam dvijam dhamani santatam. He has all this very, very poor looking clothes. His veins are showing on his body. And, Devi Paricharat Sakshat Chamara. And Chamar is held by Rukmini Devi, and she is offering this. What is this going on? Who's this person? Kim anena kritam punyam. What kind of punya has he performed in the past life? Avadhutena bhikshuna. He looks like an avadhut, he looks like a beggar. Shriya hinena lokesmin garhitena. He appears to be a very, very poor person who is supposed to be condemned. But Krishna is worshipping him like anything. What has he done in his past life? He must be someone special, someone exalted. So Krishna actually takes Sudama's feet and starts washing his feet with water, and takes that water on his head also. And that bewilders Sudama also. Sushrushaya paramaya pada samvahanadivi. With great love and affection, Krishna starts massaging his feet. Pujito Deva Devena, that Krishna who is worshipped by all the gods, all the demigods. Vipra Devena Devavat. He is worshipping Sudama as if he is an exalted demigod himself. So at that point, Sudama becomes a little bewildered, and Sudama starts thinking in his mind that such a 5-star reception I never expected. Because I am coming from such a poor background, and Krishna is making me sit like this and worship me like this. So doubt comes. When you don't expect a certain reception, and a very high level reception is given, sometimes it worries us. What's going to come next? Or what is the cause behind this? So Sudama starts thinking, probably all this reception was meant for some other sage who was supposed to come, and it is a case of mistaken identity. That I walked in at that same moment, and suddenly he started worshipping and offering all these things. So then Krishna realizes, being the Paramatma in the heart, he understands that yes, Sudama is thinking like this. So Krishna starts narrating all the incidents of what happened when they were in Gurukul together in Avanti. So Krishna wants to assure Sudama, Baba, I understand who you are. We were all classmates before with, our Guru. So then he starts narrating the pastime with Sandipani Muni, and then he mentions the particular incident when both of them had gone out to gather the firewood. And when they were gathering the firewood on the instruction of Sandipani Muni, suddenly there were overcast clouds, rain started falling, and it was very, very heavy rains, and it started flooding. So at that point he says, Vayam Brisham Tatra Mahanilambubhir. A very heavy rainfall started. Nihanyamana Muhur Ambu Samplave, and the flood water started rising. And we became bewildered by that sudden change in weather. Nihanyamana, and we didn't know what to do. Dishona Jane, and we didn't understand which direction we should go. Atha parasparam vane grihita hasta paribabhrimatula. So we were totally bewildered, confused, not knowing which direction to go. And when you are on a particular service, or you are on a mission, we begin with determination, we begin with confidence, expecting that it will be a smooth ride. And then as we begin the journey, then we faced with various obstacles. And when the obstacles come, that tests the determination we have in our mission. Because we may think, oh, I didn't expect this. I began the journey, but I didn't expect this to happen. I didn't expect that to happen. Right? Because, it's a different matter that if someone doesn't even want to get connected, that's different. If he doesn't want the mission, it's different. But someone is inspired by the mission and wants to embark on the mission, like I was giving prasad to one person, a student. He refused to take the prasad. He said, no, I won't take. Nahi chahiye mujhe. I said, I have seen people refusing Gita, refusing Mala, but I have never seen anyone refusing prasad. Prasad hai bhaiya, le lo, kya ho gaya? What is the problem? He says, no, if I take this, my hairstyle will become like yours. I don't want, I know what will happen. So some people are very clear. We are not on this mission, for sure. But then, when we are attracted by the mission, we embark on the mission, we expect, okay, we will complete the mission. But then there are obstacles. And that time, we realize, oh, can I complete the journey? So, Disho na jane atha parasparam vane. So, in that forest, we were the only two people in the middle of that dense, lonely forest. There was no one else. So we had collected the firewood was in our hands. Sudama had his stock of firewoods, Krishna had his stock of firewood, and then the water was rising. It was really becoming dangerous, and they didn't know what to do. Grihita hasta paribabhrimatura. So they say, Krishna says, that time you and me held each other's hand and we took shelter of a tree. So the word used here is very interesting. Grihita hasta. We held each other's hand to give emotional support and strength. And then the next word says paribabhrim atura. So although they were filled with anxiety, but still they held the bundle of sticks. They did not let it go. They had collected that. That was their mission, to collect the sticks, firewood for the yajna. And they had come for that. And suddenly there was this rain. And suddenly the flooding happened. And in such a state, when a person is thinking about himself and his safety, he may just give up everything and run away. But even in the midst of that challenge, they did not let go of their mission, and they did not let go of each other also. So they held the firewood in one hand and they held each other with the other hand. So therefore, when we are focused simply on the mission and we forget the other missionaries, we may become impersonal. So impersonalism means we are only focused on the mission, and we are so much focused on the mission, we may feel that whether the other missionary is happy or not doesn't make any difference, mission is important. So that may lead to impersonalism. And if we think, no, the goal is the missionaries must be happy, forget the mission. So then that may lead to sentimentalism. So Sudama and Krishna, they held each other's hand, gave each other emotional support, but they also held on to the firewood. And thus they were neither sentimental, neither impersonal. And when we are progressing on the path of Vaishnava relationship, the important thing is we have to have harmony and balance. And therefore Krishna, he mentions this pastime to Sudama, and Sudama is very much overwhelmed by Krishna's offering of loving respect, because Krishna did not give him any money. Because if you go to a place, expecting something to happen, expecting to get something, and you don't get it, there is a tendency to feel disappointed. So he actually was sent by his wife to get some money, but he didn't get that. But on the way back, he was in ecstasy. So Sudama's feelings are described, Shvo bhute vishwa bhavena swa sukhena bhivandita jagama swalayam tata patim anuvrajya nanda. He was in great ecstasy. Why? Because he was overwhelmed by Krishna's offering loving respect to him. So therefore, when a devotee is offered love and respect, which is genuine, then that really touches his heart or her heart, and it really makes us feel committed to the mission which we have embarked upon. And Sudama just felt so intimately connected with Krishna. Although Krishna did not give him anything, Krishna did not offer him the money and the wealth which he had expected, but Krishna offered him something greater, the respect and the love. And therefore, in a relationship amongst devotees, when we are able to offer that, so that's a very powerful contribution which we can offer to the faith of other devotees in Krishna consciousness. And Srila Prabhupada, he could do that. Shyam Sundar Prabhu tells the story. There was some reason because of which he had to go to the jail, and he was feeling what will Prabhupada respond. And he came to Prabhupada and he said that, Srila Prabhupada, there is some offense which I did before coming to Hare Krishna, so I'll have to go to the jail. So Prabhupada said, that's okay, Krishna was born in a jail. So he really felt, Prabhupada is accepting. And then Prabhupada said, what offense? Or what crime? And he said, I was selling drugs. I was dealing with drugs. Prabhupada said, me too. I was also dealing with drugs. I was running Prayag pharmacy. So Prabhupada immediately accepted, for whatever it was. So therefore, this kind of so Chakravarti Pad says the reason, Krishna gave that wealth to Sudama, I have nothing. So that was also kind of subtle pride. And Krishna felt, I must humble him. How to humble him? Make him wealthy. So you may think, let me pray to the Lord to make me humble like Sudama. So Krishna has his own plan for each one. So therefore, when we are dependent on the devotees, then we are demonstrating our dependence on Krishna. And that dependence on devotees is possible when we see reciprocation which is based on genuine affection and respect. And so it's important for us to actually treat the other devotees with this kind of, feelings from the heart. In the Ramayana, we have the story of, Ram in the forest, and he's going in the forest along with Sita Devi. And, Sita Devi suddenly, for whatever reason, looks at Ram and says, I see you're carrying this bow for a long time with you. Are you just carrying as decoration or you're going to use it ever? So she just makes a statement like that. So Ramchandra, he could have immediately reacted. But he said, no, let me wait. So he didn't respond. So they came to Janasthan, and then there was the Surpanaka episode. Surpanaka's nose was cut, and she went and called her two brothers, Kara and Dushan, and they came with 14,000 warriors. When they were about to attack, Lakshman saw them from a distance, and Lakshman told Ram, my dear Lord, you and Sita go inside the cave. I have to protect you. I have to fight against these warriors. I have to fight against these demons. Ram said, no, Lakshman, I will fight. You go in. Lakshman said, my dear Lord, I can take care of them. I'll finish all of them. You don't worry, you relax. Ram said, no, Lakshman, I have to fight this. Go inside. Lakshman said, my dear Lord, these demons are not really up to your standard. I can take care of them. Ram said, Lakshman, it is my family matter. I can't tell you details. Go in. So he told Lakshman to go inside along with Sita, and Ram alone stood there and fought against 14,000 warriors, killed all of them in 1 hour. And not a bead of perspiration came on his forehead. And Sita came out and she started glorifying Ram, said, my dear Lord, I have never seen you in such a powerful form before. It was really amazing. I am so glad that my father didn't see you in this day-to-day, showing so much power. If my father had seen you in this form, he may have offered my other 2 sisters also in marriage. So, in a relationship, many times we may feel, okay, the love and respect was there, but then suddenly something is not right. Someone is not giving me the reciprocation I'm expecting. But when these kind of situations arise, we should understand that without tolerance and without forgiveness, no relationships can survive. And therefore, although we are on the path of perfection, many times we expect the journey to be also filled with perfection. The destination may be perfection, but the journey may be filled with imperfection. And therefore, Shastra is replete with examples of even exalted personalities who are perfect, but they had to go through sometimes relationships which were not so perfect. And therefore, it's important for us to appreciate that in dealings with devotees, various kinds of situations may arise which may make us feel a sense of doubt or a loss of faith or some kind of uncomfortable feeling. But then we have to go back to the scriptures and to the examples of the great Vaishnavas and realize that if we have to survive this journey and reach the destination, we are totally, utterly dependent on the mercy and the grace of the devotees. And without having that relationship with the devotees, it's not possible to get that blessings, not possible to get that grace. With that understanding, we will have the required tolerance and forgiveness to move on in any relationship and ultimately please Krishna at the end of our lives. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So, we can take some questions. Any questions or comments?
How do we handle lies between devotees, whether small or big? Because that happens often, either white letter lies or major lies. And that ruins the relationships ultimately. It loses trust. How do we cope with that?
He's an authority on the gambling match.
This guy. is black and white. Basically, we also see when children lie. And lie could happen because there is fear. Usually, they have an experience. I remember talking to one family. He does parenting seminar. He said when a child actually tells the truth, then the father slaps or reprimands. So the child thinks, being honest, you get punished. Better to be dishonest, escape the punishment. See, how. Therefore, it is not very black and white. So when we see something, devotees speak something, why should we take that as an ultimate reality? I am saying we should not lie, but if somebody is lying, we can deal it from so many different perspectives. Therefore, nothing is black and white. Even honesty for that matter. If somebody is very honest, but honesty also has different flavors. Somebody can be very arrogant to say that I have done it. Who cares? That is honest, but at the same time there is a lot of arrogance. And some people are very honest with the flavor of shamelessness. So therefore, when somebody speaks the lie, like Arjuna, the way he responded when Yudhishthira Maharaj spoke the lie. Now Krishna suggested, Krishna did not order Yudhishthira Maharaj. He said, look, to bring down Dronacharya, only one way is that you have to tell that. Why did Dronacharya, the entire life of Dronacharya was based upon attachment to his son Ashwatthama. Everything was connected to Ashwatthama. So therefore he was fighting on behalf of the Kurus because of Ashwatthama was very good friends with Duryodhana. It's the only way to stop Duryodhana, Dronacharya is to tell that Ashwatthama is gone. So a lot of discussions and Yudhishthira ultimately realized I have to speak the lie. And he spoke it. And Arjuna couldn't stand it. Arjuna became very upset. Because Arjuna had great affection for his guru, Dronacharya, at the cost of establishing dharma. And therefore when Ashwatthama was, Drishtadyumna killed Dronacharya, Arjuna was so angry with Yudhishthira Maharaj and said, how you could do this? For the sake of small piece of land, for this material kingdom, you have spoken lie against your guru. He said, you can't do this. It is unfair. It is not correct. He said, you're just like that Lord Ramachandra who was hiding and he killed Vali. Arjuna says this. And Krishna is sitting there. You know, the same Ramachandra is sitting. Again, Krishna did not take it seriously. He could have said, hey, you are accusing me. Therefore, in Vaisnava relationships, certain, we see people have, internet war. In the name of establishing truth, they give up the quality of culture. Right? The truth is not established. It only creates more and more conflict. Shishupal was able to find hundreds of faults in Krishna. And they were not simply made up, according to him. And he was not thinking about them. They are coming like flow of Ganga, one after another, one after another, one after another. Why? Because Shishupal was convinced that Krishna is lies. Therefore, those who are looking for so-called truth, are they actually from the clan of Yudhishthira or the clan of Shishupal? So therefore, lie has got many, many flavors. Especially in devotee circle, somebody is a repeated liar, then it has to be dealt differently. All different response has to be there. The problem is not lie, the problem is the way we respond. I think that is a greater lie. We respond very violently, we become very disturbed. We look for another society. Chanakya says, to find the idealistic person in the material world is not possible. He said, even the greatest of the personality. He gives the example of a person who is working for the country or a government. He said, he is like a honey collector. When somebody goes to collect the honey, he said, you should expect that he will lick his hand. He said, that kind of corruption is okay. He said it is expected, but if it drinks the entire jar, he said then it's not very correct. Therefore, with every potential, there is certain limitations. In every relationship, that will always be there. If somebody has the habit, Vasan is an addiction, then that has to be done differently. But if it is not a big deal, why make it as a big deal? Because that's not going to add any value to life. That's what I understand. Add something.
I just remembered when Prabhupada was in Vrindavan, so somebody had joined nearby, local boy. So then Prabhupada suddenly turned to one of the devotees and said, "Why did you allow him to join?" So he said, "Oh, he showed interest." Prabhupada said, "Oh, he's a thief." And then Prabhupada said, "Not only he's a thief, his father is a thief." Then he said, "His father is also a thief." Prabhupada said, "Evam parampara prabhu." So sometimes certain habits are there which run very deep, and that's an important consideration. Yeah.
First of all, thank you for coming after a long time.
Long time.
Last
Not
year.
so long.
Last year.
Last to last year.
I came last year.
Govind came last year.
I didn't come.
Scheduled and
It's not a lie, it's a misinformation.
We are doing two now. And on Nirjala Ekadashi.
So, question to both of you is, you talk elaborately on Vaishnava relationships. So, can you say something about how the Grihasthas should also, couple who are trying to aspire to become devotees, they should behave with each other, how their relationship should be?
And that is his subject. That's not a lie.
Yeah, different people have different taste, right? In relationship, we see that there are two facets. One is affection and other is efficiency. Like Prabhuji mentioned, mission and emotion, Sudama and our Krishna. Right? So, in regards to family relationship, this principle of lying has to be given greater liberty. Some principle of chalta hai. When it comes to management, then we have to deal with efficiency. In management, if you bring affection, then management will not work. But in relationship, if you bring management, then it is no more family, it's a company. So therefore, in regards to relationship, nowadays it's a very difficult subject matter, very complex also. The relationship between husband and wife. And because it is not only husband and wife, many times one of the difficult thing is that the parents are involved, the mother-in-law is involved, right? That is the same thing like Lord Ram abandoning or banishing Mother Sita. I remember one student in IIT, he asked how can Lord Ram banish his wife, Mother Sita? So I asked him, I said, do you have a brother, sister? He said, no, I'm the only son. So where will you go after this? He said, I'll go to America. I said, yes. So what happens to your parents? Now I'm going to come back after 5-7 years. But usually what happens when they get married, the parents want him to come back, the wife and child is saying, stay here. So how do you deal with that? He has to please both the parties. You have to please your parents also. This is one of the question I encountered in this visit. Many devotees, they were saying, our parents are becoming old. They're asking us to come back, but our children have grown up. They can't handle India. So what to do? So therefore, it is not about right and wrong again. It's about the priorities. That becomes the principle. Therefore, like other day, Dayaram Prabhu in Ahmedabad, he was telling, very interesting point, that everybody wants to please everybody. He said even Krishna can't do that. As avatar, when he comes to this material world, as Lord Narayan is neutral, because he doesn't come to this world. But when Lord comes to this material world, like Lord Ramachandra's mother, when she saw Lord Ram is going to the forest, she said, "You should have not born only to me. If you are not born to me, then I would have suffered of having no child. But because you are born and I am so attached to you, but now you are going away, because when I married to Dashrath Maharaj," this she spoke to Dashrath, "when I married to Dashrath, when I married to you," she said, "I lost my parents. Basically my relationship broke with them. When you married Kaikai, I lost you. And my only hope was Lord Ramachandra, but now you are asking him to go to the forest, I have lost him also." So that in that same episode, she told, "I think you should have not born only, because I am pained so much." Therefore, no relationship in this world is fully positive, because material world is so designed. If you understand the principle of duality, when you are not married, there is a problem. When you are married, there is a different problem. Right. No solution is pure solution, because every solution is like a journey. It gives rise to many more questions. When India got independence, people celebrated. It solved one problem, but then had another problem, how to deal with the independence. So I think if we understand this principle in the root, that no situation, you will never get an idealistic relationship. Therefore Vidura told this to Dhritarashtra. He said, "My dear Dhritarashtra, wherever you go and whomever you meet, there are 5 levels of relationship. One is people will love you sometimes, they will hate you sometimes. Third, they are neutral most of the times. Fourth, they will serve you, and fifth, you will serve them." He said, wherever you go, whichever part of the world, with the same person you may experience these 5 kind of relationship, or you can experience this 5 kind of relationship from different kinds of people also. Therefore, the principle of relationship and foundation is that nobody can give you pure affection and pure efficiency. Once you understand this dualistic principle, then we know. I remember talking to one family here only in America. I was talking about how previously the girls would perform tapasya, puja, worship for many years to have a very good husband. And the lady said, "Prabhuji, I did for 12 years, just see what kind of husband I have." I said, "Look, at least as far as I understand, he is not nasty, he is not abusive, he is not a drunkard. So from that perspective, he is still good." So I don't know how you worship, because whichever way you worship, you'll always get with some kind of defects only. That has to be accepted.
Hare Krishna. Wonderful class. Thank you so much. So the question I have is the case of both Draupadi as well as in Sudama, both being the great devotees of the Lord. If you really see, they underwent a lot of torture and then so many years in so many forms, and the Lord reciprocated or gave her his blessings only at the end. So this gives an impression. So okay, when we go to Krishna, he's going to make us suffer a lot, and only then he's going to give us his mercy or blessings in the form. Even in Mahabharata, even during the gambling, we may say that they didn't approach Krishna to get the permission for doing the gambling, but he being the Paramatma, he knows that what is going to happen. Even without asking, should he not come there and help them? So how do we address that situation? How do we have that faith and confidence in the Lord? If it is happening to Draupadi and Sudama, what about us? So then he may be expecting us more of sufferings and pains rather than giving his blessing.
Yeah, good point. When we go to the retail store, or nowadays it's online store, so you may be attracted to some product which looks beautiful, say a jewel which looks beautiful, and you feel, yes, I must get it. So if we pick it up without seeing the price tag, then we may be in for a shock when the time for payment comes. Right? So therefore, when you are attracted to any product in a store, we always have to make sure that we see the price also. So we make informed decision about our purchase. So you can't say at the billing counter, oh, I didn't know this cost $500. I thought it cost $5. So whose mistake it is? The product's mistake, the store's mistake, my mistake. So it is my duty and responsibility to check whether it costs $5 or $500. And I can't make a big show at the billing counter. So therefore, we eat halwa, we dance in kirtan, we attend a few kirtan mela, and someone sends us, that is Krishna consciousness. Chant, dance. Khao, piyo, karo, anand, baki sab Paramatma. So then if you think, okay, this is Krishna consciousness and you come in, then we are taking a product without knowing what is the price. So therefore Krishna looks beautiful, attractive, and then he is inviting us for a relationship. Okay, so the katha, the kirtan, the prasad and all these things are, invitations. But Krishna has also given us the catalog with the price list. And that is the Bhagavatam. And he says, please go through the whole catalog of which devotee has paid how much to obtain me, beginning from Parikshit, who paid with his life in 7 days and 7 nights. And then the list goes on from 1st to 12th canto. So what is one common thing about each one of them? They all paid in the range of $1 million. So you should note that the product is in that range only. 2 million or whatever. But it is this much and above. That is sure. So to have expectation that I will get this in $10, that is unrealistic. So now you may say, Arey, before I started, I didn't realize the price. I didn't check through. But you can't say that because you have been hearing about all this pastime from childhood. But we thought it is all part of some serial on the television. It applies to them, not to me. So therefore, Krishna stand in threefold bending form to show that his will is not straight and predictable. It is unpredictable. So therefore, that unpredictability of Krishna is because it is difficult to submit to the word of God. When we read the Gita, when we get the Gita, we hear so many things. You must do this, do that. So it is difficult. To submit to the word of God is not easy. Is it not? Gita has so many instructions we are hearing first time, and then we are wondering whether we can follow it or not. So to submit to the word of God is difficult. But more difficult than the word of God is to follow the will of the Vaishnavas. Because then the Vaishnavas are active, dynamic. Gita is right there, you can close it and keep. But the devotee is right there and is telling us, do this, do that. So to submit to the will of the Vaishnavas is more difficult. But most difficult is to submit to the whim of Krishna. So the whim of Krishna is so unpredictable, so difficult to understand. But if you are making preparation for going to the spiritual world where every moment we have to deal with Krishna's whim. So in the spiritual world, Krishna expects every soul to reciprocate at the moment and engage in his service. So that level of fluidity in the desire must be there to please Krishna. So therefore, if we have to prepare for dealing with Krishna's whim in the spiritual world, then dealing with the will of the Vaishnavas is a practice. Right? And therefore we have to face various situations where sometimes we feel, should I accept this, should I not accept this and that. Like I was sharing the other day, he was in Vrindavan chanting, enjoying Braj. So Prabhupada told him, I want you to start preaching. He said, what? Where? Prabhupada said, you should go to Sri Lanka. So this devotee said, but Prabhupada, Sri Lanka is a very small country. Prabhupada said, okay, go to Pakistan. He said, oh, let me think. I think Sri Lanka is better. So many times when we are told, you make your choices, what you think like this, think like that. So it becomes sometimes difficult and we need guidance. So we should know that in any relationship there will be some pain. And without that pain there is no love. Pragada premer ei swabhav achar nijadukka vignadir no kore vichar. So Prabhupada says in the purport, what is condensed love? Service without selfish consideration. And in every relationship there is some scarcity, impediment, discomfort, unhappiness. But we have to deal with it. We can't, live without that. So therefore Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Tomara sevaya dukkha hoyata seito parama sukha. Seva sukha dukkha parama sampada nashaya avidya dukkha. That in any relationship of this world also, even if there is no relation with Krishna, there is dukkha. Right? So many of your friends and family members who are not devotees, are they not going through difficulty? But seva, sukha dukkha parama sampada. That seva, the sukha dukkha in seva gives param sampatti. Nashai avidya dukkha. It destroys the dukkha of avidya. Like when we were starting our Govinda's restaurant in Chopati, Maharaj told us to make pizza. But till then our whole concept of pizza was different. We just used to have some bread and put tomato ketchup and add some fried brinjal on top. And we would distribute it to each other, say pizza. And we would give Maharaj also, Radhanath Maharaj, and ask him, how is it? And we would also give feedback, it's okay. So he didn't give any comment beyond that. So when the discussion on pizza came, I said, I don't think people like the pizza so much. It can't be part of a restaurant menu. Maharaj said, which pizza are you talking about? The one you guys are feeding me? I said, yeah. I said, that is not pizza, that is a perverted reflection of pizza. So we were using the same word. Concept was same, but the reality was different. So people say, okay, I am in love, he is in love, they are in love, love. So Bollywood talks about love, Hollywood talks about love, the novels talk about love, and Bhagavatam talks about love, and Chaitanya Charitamrita talks about love. So the word used is same, right? But what's the understanding? The understanding is not pleasure, but it is pain. So the material world promotes love is equal to pleasure. So Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita and Mahabharata are all explaining love is equal to pain. So that's a new concept. That's a new paradigm. So therefore, what price you are willing to pay for a relationship with me? And if you say, I don't know, Krishna said, read the Bhagavatam. See all the previous buyers, how much they have paid. Check their credit cards and figure out. In a purchase, you don't gain, you gain the product, but you lose something, right? Otherwise, how will you purchase? So if you have come in the market to purchase Krishna, we have to be willing to lose something. And what is that? We have to lose our feeling that, I can do it on my own. So therefore, Krishna consciousness is very unpredictable. And Krishna has kept it like that to keep it exciting. When my father met Radhanath Maharaj, he had a steady job for 45 years in steel plant, Vilay steel plant and everything. So Maharaj said, so what you are doing in your life? So my father, he's always very, he used to be very, proud of the fact that he was working in the plant for so many years, steadily. He said, Maharaj, I was working in the steel plant. I was serving the steel plant for 40 years. Maharaj said, now you serve the Tulsi plant. So if you see in the third canto of Bhagavatam, Tulsi Maharani is glorified in the description of Vaikuntha. Gandher chite tulasika abharanena tasya yasmin sumanuso bahumanyan. Why Tulsi is glorified? Because she is completely dedicated to serving Krishna's lotus feet in all conditions, whether pleasurable or painful or whatever. So therefore that is called Swarupagata Sukh. Swarupagata Sukh means the constitutional bliss which is allowed for a soul to possess, which is to see the smile on Krishna's face. To see the smile on the Master's face is the bona fide pleasure available for the soul. And in return for that smile, the soul is willing to go through unlimited pain, as seen by the previous lovers of Krishna. Nobody went back to Godhead smiling. मजा आ गया. क्या party मनाए? You won't find any such pastime in Bhagavatam. You won't find any such pastime in, Bhaktivedanta Hospital. In the operation theatre, they have put one photo of Narsingh Dev. So one patient was going to get operated, he looked at it, got bewildered, and asked the doctor, hey, what is that? The doctor was devotee, so he wanted to use that opportunity to preach. He said, this is the first surgery in history of creation. So he said, doctor, what was the result? He said, surgery was successful, patient was liberated. So if you see, the father and son relationship is supposed to be one of the most loving. And Bhagavatam is bringing this whole relationship in such a manner which you won't even read in normal novels. This kind of torture. Is it not? Even in outside world, even the most demoniac novels you can take, it can't beat the Hiranyakashipu's demonism. And then he just tortures Prahlad so much. But why all such cases are shown to give us an idea that what people have paid to get the privilege of a relationship with Krishna. So therefore be well informed of how much you must carry in your credit card before you even dream of such a purchase. Right? That's why Srila Prabhupada said, Laulyam Kevalam Mulyam. So it's the greed. Through that greed we purchase this. So, you may say that, hey, I really didn't think about it before I got initiated. Or I really took to this process. These things should be probably included before. But even if it is told, you won't take it seriously. Because we feel, hey, unka hua, I'll get a good deal. I'll get a cheaper deal. Not to worry. Right? You may hear some devotees who have spent many years in the process saying, oh, it is, a lot of challenges are there and this and that. And when you're new, you're looking at them thinking, poor fellow. Bechara. Bahut maar khaya lag. But then you don't realize that, the path is same. And only time is separating us from those experiences. So we are laughing. Two categories of people are laughing. Those who feel it's not going to happen, and second one who have gone through it and can, immediately relate to this. Okay. So I think we'll stop now for your Tulsi Aarti.
10 more minutes.
Oh, 10 more minutes? So ask more.
Last question.
Huh?
One last question. Sure. No, I'm saying we can take one last question.
Oh, okay. Yeah, someone else had a hand up. I think you had your hand up. for me. I just gave a long answer.
You can ask.
Vaishnava relationship.
No, he wants to be
Okay,
satisfied.
so let's have somebody else. Yeah.
Prabhuji, if you say like the Krishna has given us a catalog and we have to look at the price, what we have to pay to go to the Krishna, how one should evaluate themselves whether they have that much in the credit card to move towards or they have to back out. And if they have to back out, what should they do?
Like, one devotee was telling, joining Krishna consciousness movement is joining like a mafia. You can't go back.
Even vaccine patient, if you can't buy something and you can't go out.
It's not the point what he was making, that everybody has the potential. Ultimately, we are all full of knowledge, full of bliss, full of eternality. Originally, constitutionally, Jiva's position is that he's not conditioned. He's constitutionally has this full of knowledge, full of bliss and full of eternality. So therefore, in the Upanishad, the story of Nachiket is there, very beautiful story. Yamaraj told him, he said, I can explain to you the Shabda Pramana, the limitation ultimately. Without Shabda Pramana, you don't understand what to experience. Without experiencing, the Shabda remains a theory only. You have a map, where to go. But map does not take you there. You have to actually go through that journey. Somebody asked that question to Prabhupada, have you seen God? He said, that doesn't matter whether I have seen or not. Because you follow the process, I give you the process through which you can see God. Otherwise, I remember talking to some children, I said, if Krishna does everything for you, you don't have to study, you just go to the exam, you just hold your pen and he writes for you. He gives you all the great grades. What will happen? I said, Prabhuji, I don't want. What about me? My own achievement. Therefore, the whole principle of Krishna consciousness is if you get something without paying that price, you will not be satisfied. Just to make you feel that I have achieved something. Jiva has to feel that identity. Therefore, everybody has the credit full. But only thing they have to realize through sadhana, through association, through reading of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore Krishna tells Arjun, Bahavo Jnana Tapasa Puddha Madhava Madhana. Many people in the past have achieved perfection. That is the principle. The principle, it is not difficult, it is not challenge, it is adventure. So when you want to experience that adventure, when the Devatas prayed to Krishna that he have to come to this world to save all the good people, establish dharma. So the Devatas, not that they had a party, Krishna said, you all come down also. The problem in this world is that people, go and watch Bahubali and say, wow, what a hero. He does everything. What I have to do, just clap my hand. That doesn't work like that. Everybody has to contribute something. Yes, one may not go through the same experience of Kunti, Draupadi, Bharat, Shatrughna, but the impact is the same. The volume may not be the same, but the impact is the same. Today many devotees are fasting, Nirjala Ekadashi. And they feel that, wow, what an achievement. I was in Boston, one of his relatives. He made me very humble. He said his mother, she's 85-year-old. Now I asked him 10 times to reconfirm. He said every year for 1 month she does without water. He also does. So that's my God, where no sadhana tells us you fast like that. And even Prabhupada never recommended or never institutionalized that everybody should fast without water. No, devotees are doing because they want to, so many devotees are doing, it's like a festival. Today you fast and tomorrow you have Shraddha Day festival. So there is no such hard and fast rule that you have to go through the same kinds of experience what Draupadi went through. But everybody has to have that experience. So everybody has that capacity, everybody has that credit card. As he mentioned, probably mentioned that you think in the material world if you go back there is all happiness. You take all the responsibility but don't get any credit only. Right, and not only was shot, he still gets shot by people. No, he get criticized. Many times for good reason also. So therefore nobody can get away with this world. You have to sacrifice but you don't get the credit. But Krishna is giving you the facility to be adventurous. At the end of the day, that adventure simply gives you amazing experience, wow experience. Wow, it was such a great experience, and you don't want to, get it from others. You want to experience yourself. Therefore, bhakti is a personal commitment made by a living entity out of his choice to experience that beautiful adventure. We'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.